I invite Dr. Ashok Gulati, Infosys Chair Professor for Agriculture at ICRIER, talking about agricultural growth and poverty elimination.
Thank you, Gurshan. Distinguished speakers on the dais, distinguished delegates here. I've been asked to talk for 20 minutes on agriculture and elimination of poverty. I think let me start by what Father of the Nation Mahatma Gandhi once said. Poverty is the worst form of violence. So if you want to control violence in this country and in the world, you have to eliminate poverty. So public policy, the first job of public policy, after providing you the basic security to live, is to eliminate poverty. Now I'm going to talk about where do we stand globally on this, what are the best practices that different countries have shown us, what is happening at all India level, and what is happening in Madhya Pradesh, to speak a bit. And maybe what is happening for the last 3-4 years, and if we have to move forward, what do we need to do? In 2008, World Development Report looked at several developing countries. What is the development experience during the last 25 years or so? And they came up with one basic finding. And what was that finding? That agriculture growth, 1% growth in agriculture, is at least 2 to 3 times more effective in reducing poverty than the same growth coming from non-agriculture sectors. And it's not a big surprise, because where do people live who are poor? They live in rural areas. What is their main occupation? Agriculture. Therefore, when they looked across countries over the 25 years of development process, this is what they came up with. And interestingly, they found in China, agriculture growth was 3.5 times more effective in reducing poverty. And in Latin American countries, it was 2.7 times more effective in reducing poverty than the same growth coming from industrial sector or services sector. Now, if that is the position that we have, I want to spend a minute on where do we stand vis-a-vis a country like China in the development model. Remember, even in 1981, China's per capita income was less than ours, so they were behind us. And today, they are 4 times ahead of us. They did not start the development process and the reform process the way we have started. What did they do? Their reform process started from 78 onwards. 78 to 84 is the most dramatic period in the history of China. And what did they do? They did only 2 things. One, the land in China, ownership is with the state. And they used to give to the communes for cultivating it. They said dismantle the communes, it's a free rider problem there, became a household responsibility system, gave it to individuals as user rights. That was one big reform that they did, which is well known in literature. What is less known in literature is that they liberated the price regime for agriculture. The prices of agriculture in real terms went up by about 20%. What was the result? The result was that the farmers' incomes increased in real terms by 15% per annum over those 6 years. 15% per annum, more than doubled in 6 years, and they halved their poverty in 6 years. half their poverty in 6 years, from 33% to 15%, more than half. And that created such an income base that those people who got so much of extra income in agriculture, they started demanding more of industrial goods. It is to satisfy the demand of that industrial goods, the town and village enterprises of China had to scale up because they could not meet that demand. The manufacturing revolution of China started to satisfy the demand coming from hinterlands, the rural areas. So in a pyramid, economic pyramid, where you have services at the top, industry in the middle, and agriculture at the bottom, they fired the whole thing from the bottom. What happened in India? Our 1991 reforms, when we started off, first it was by stealth. In case of China, when the largest numbers gained, it gave them political legitimacy to push reforms further. In India, our reforms were by stealth, and they were coming from the top. Exchange rate correction, trade policy changes, and tariffs coming down in industrial sector. We have not heard agriculture reforms even till day. So what happened? The Bangalore techies and others, they gained. They started becoming global. And there was a trickle-down effect on poverty. It took 18 years for India to reduce poverty by half. 18 years vis-a-vis 6 years in China. That's the difference in the model of reforms and development that the two countries adopted. Therefore, to me, unless the government, whether it was UPA or NDA today, unless they focus on agriculture, growth can happen, but growth for whom? IT boom can happen, but those people are already above poverty line. Unless you tackle the mass bottom, this is where we need to look at. The long-term rate of growth in agriculture in India from 91 to 2015-16, if you look at, it hovers around 3.1, 3.2%. The target was always 4%. So there is almost 20-25% shortfall in that. But if you look only the last few years and the distress that is happening, from 14-15 when the new government came in, we had successive droughts, but when we had bumper crops also, even then the situation has not improved. 3.5 years of this government, the agriculture growth is hovering at 1.8 to 1.9%. 1.8 to 1.9%. So when we talk about 7%, 8% growth, growth for whom? And will that be able to eliminate poverty? You look at 10 years of UPA government, two successive rounds, 2004-05 to 13-14, the growth in agriculture was 3.7%. Target was 4%, 3.7 versus today 1.8, 1.9%. This is where you can feel that there is distress building up in the rural areas, and Saurashtra results also perhaps indicate that. Now I do want to spend a little bit, not the current political scene in Gujarat, but the agriculture model. Gujarat was in the front runner in agriculture. If you look, not the Prime Minister Modi, but the Chief Minister Modi period, from 2002-03 to 13-14, Gujarat agriculture registered a growth rate of 8% per annum. It was unheard of in the Indian history. Even the Green Revolution days, Punjab registered only 5.6% rate of growth. And Gujarat was speeding ahead at 8% rate of growth, driven by cotton revolution, milk was always good there, and so on and so forth. And I do feel that Chief Minister Modi became 3 times Chief Minister, a part of that was contributed by what was happening in agriculture. The only state so far that has beaten Gujarat record is Madhya Pradesh. If you look 2005-06 to 14-15, for which we have the finally approved data at the central level of all the states, you find that Madhya Pradesh 10-year growth rate is 9.67%. It should lead to much faster poverty reduction. How did they do it? We have heard a bit, number of factors. We worked, on the diagnostics of that. What was driving agriculture growth in Gujarat and what is driving agriculture growth in Madhya Pradesh? Are there any lessons for other states? Because we have to learn from each other. Can we do that? Our analysis about Madhya Pradesh shows that basically 2 things they did. There are a number of factors that went into it, but if you look at 2 or 3 things maximum, you can turn around agriculture. What did they do? 1, almost doubled the irrigated area in 10 years. But second, which is most important, it was amazing. I am reminded of 2012-13. There was a burst of grain, and I was to speak in Mexico on the Borlaug Summit on Green Revolution, and I said another Punjab has risen in India, and I showed the graph of what is happening in Madhya Pradesh, and 1,000 people sitting there were shocked. What? We were talking of Green Revolution in the eastern belt, and there is another state that jumps out of the queue and suddenly shows that it is the second Punjab in the making. What did they do? They started procuring. They erected a procurement mechanism. Yes, he gave 10% higher bonus price also. And I visited in 12-13 when the grain was coming. It was like a big, rain of grain, because there was no storage facility. There was no time to build even the plinth, and they were throwing sandbags and on top of that grain bags. This is 12-13, and they ended up procuring 8.5 million tons of wheat in that year. What I want to indicate by these 2 factors is this: farmer agriculture cannot progress unless he has access to water. Seeds are there, luckily. And even water or seeds will not do the magic unless farmer is assured of a reasonably good price. These 2 pillars, if you have, and this is what was done in Punjab during the Green Revolution, the seeds came from outside, irrigation was very much there, but if you recall, Food Corporation of India, it had to procure. There was a burst of grain in Punjab in 1967, and they had no storage facility. The schools had to be closed down, and grain had to be put in the classrooms of those schools. That was the first storage in Punjab. Same thing literally happened in Madhya Pradesh. Incentive structures, unless they are set right, farmer will not be able to rise. So this growth, and last 5 years I hear it's about 20% growth on that. I feel privileged. I happen to be in the Chief Minister's Task Force on Agriculture, and let me take that liberty. Chand mein bhi daag hota hai. So what happened in June, July? We were so distressed and so surprised that there was a massive crop. Madhya Pradesh has become the 2nd biggest producer of onions, and the prices collapsed like a house of cards. 1 rupee, 2 rupee. His cost is coming at 5 rupees, 6 rupees, and he was selling at 2 rupees. And they were all on the roads in June, July, asking for what is happening. There was violence, police had to fire, and about 7 farmers, unfortunately, died in Madhya Pradesh. Immediately, the chief minister said, what is this happening? I will not allow this to happen, because he finds his identity with farmers and लाभ होना चाहिए खेती में. That is his slogan. So he said, I will buy onions at 8 rupees a kg. 2 रुपए किलो बिक रहा था, 8 रुपए किलो हम खरीदेंगे. And this is what Chief Minister is telling me from his own mouth. I will literally in inverted commas. 10 किलोमीटर की लाइन लग गई ट्रैक्टर ट्रॉलीज की और ट्रक्स की. इवन लसन गांव से भी ट्रक इधर आ गए बेचने के लिए 8 रुपए पे, क्योंकि वहां 6 रुपए प्राइस चल रहा था. खरीद लिया, लेकिन रखने की जगह नहीं है, स्टोरेज नहीं है. 10 दिन में प्याज सड़ने लगा, वो 2.25 रुपए पे बेच दिया उन्होंने. 1 महीने 1.5 महीने में 785 करोड़ 785 crores loss in onion operations. Trying to give farmer a better deal. 6 रुपए की कॉस्ट है, 8 रुपए हम देंगे. दिल सही जगह पर है, लेकिन स्टोरेज फैसिलिटी नहीं है, प्रोसेसिंग फैसिलिटी नहीं है. आप डिहाइड्रेट कर सकते थे. सारे साल में फूड प्रोसेसिंग पे खर्चा कितना किया? केवल 7 करोड़. 7 करोड़ फूड प्रोसेसिंग पे और 785 करोड़ अनियन ऑपरेशंस में. सिर्फ हृदय में उसके लिए प्यार होना, उसके लिए कुछ करने के लिए तमन्ना होना, वो काफ़ी नहीं है. आपको एक स्ट्रैटेजी बनानी पड़ेगी. प्रॉब्लम ऑफ प्लेंटी आई, उससे कुछ लर्निंग हुई. मुझे वही चीज़ याद आ गई जो 2012-13 में हुई थी वीट में. अगर उस समय प्राइसेस कोलैप्स हो जाते तो वो वीट रेवोल्यूशन मध्य प्रदेश में नहीं होता, और जो आज एग्रीकल्चर की बात कर रहे हैं वो नहीं कर पाते. तो वी हैव टू लर्न फ्रॉम ईच अदर कि जिस समय हम किसान को कहते हैं कि आप और उत्पादन कीजिए और उत्पादकता बढ़ाइए और वो सस्टेनेबल मैनर में बढ़ाइए, सबसे पहले हमें देखना पड़ेगा कि उसके लिए इंसेंटिव्स क्या हैं. क्या हम उसको कुछ किसान ने जो हमें दिया, ज़्यादा लोग यहाँ यंगस्टर्स हैं जिन्होंने वो दिन देखे नहीं, लेकिन जो डायस पे बैठे हैं उनको 1960s याद होगा. यहाँ तक कि शास्त्री जी जिस समय प्रधानमंत्री थे, उन्होंने कह दिया कि कम से कम हफ्ते में एक खाना मिस कीजिए, हमारे पास गेहूं नहीं है. 10-11 मिलियन टन उस समय इंपोर्ट हो रहा था. पैसा नहीं था खरीदने के लिए PL 480 के दिन. और 5 साल में किसान ने उस पानी से, प्रोक्योरमेंट से हमें वो सेल्फ सफिशिएंसी दे दी जो 71-72 में हम कह सकते थे कि वी आर सेल्फ सफिशिएंट इन ग्रेन्स. एक और उदाहरण दूंगा और चुप हो जाऊंगा. 1951 में, क्योंकि 60s-70s में काफ़ी लोग मेरी उम्र के हैं, हम जब आपकी उम्र के थे 2-2 घंटे 3-3 घंटे लाइन में खड़े होते थे 2 लीटर दूध लेने के लिए. दूध नहीं था इस देश में. 1951 में हमारा दूध का उत्पादन केवल 17 मिलियन टन था, 17, और यूएस का उस समय 53 मिलियन टन था. आपने एक नाम सुना होगा, मिल्कमैन ऑफ इंडिया. वो कैसे हुआ उसकी अपनी एक कहानी है. शास्त्री जी किस तरह से खेड़ा गए और एक रात किसानों के साथ रुके, और उससे फिर NDDB और उससे ऑपरेशन फ्लड बाद में आया. आज यूएस 53 से लेके 95 मिलियन टन पे है यूएस, और हिंदुस्तान 17 से लेके 163 मिलियन टन. वी आर द लार्जेस्ट प्रोड्यूसर ऑफ मिल्क टुडे, ऑल डन बाय द small holders, all done by the small holders. And women, जो आप विमेन पार्टिसिपेशन की बात कर रहे थे, 70% डेयरी सेक्टर में जो काम करते हैं वो विमेन हैं घर में। मैं ये क्यों चीज़ ला रहा हूँ, ये कहने के लिए कि आज अमूल का जो मॉडल है, अगर आप 50 रुपये का दूध लेते हैं तो उसमें से 75%, 80% तक भी किसान को जाता है। 75 से 80% जो कंज्यूमर का रूपी है वो किसान को जाता है। वो एक सिंपल सा इन्होंने मॉडल बना दिया कि डायरेक्ट बाइंग करनी है, प्रोसेसिंग करनी है उसकी, और रिटेल से लिंक करना है। लेकिन अनियन में क्या होता है, जब वो 2 रुपये किलो बेच रहा है, आप फिर भी 20 रुपये किलो खरीद रहे हैं। उसको हम क्यों नहीं ठीक कर सकते? अगर ऑपरेशन फ्लड से हमने मिल्क में ये दुनिया में सबसे बड़ा वंडर कर दिया, तो हम क्यों नहीं ऑपरेशन वेजीज लॉन्च करते? कम से कम 3 कमोडिटीज में, टमाटोज, अनियंस एंड पोटैटोज, जो बेसिक्स हैं। ऑपरेशन वेजीज टॉप, मोदी जी को पसंद है टीओपी, टॉप कुछ एब्रीविएशन। हम कर सकते हैं, हमारे किसान वो करके दिखा सकते हैं जो किसी और ने दुनिया में नहीं किया। राइज कर सकते हैं, प्रोवाइडेड उनको इंसेंटिव दे दो, उनको वो हक दे दो जो उनकी कॉस्ट को कवर कर दे। दे कैन टर्न अराउंड टेबल्स। तो मैं यहीं पे एक छोटा सा कि सरकार दे या मार्केट्स को ठीक करो, गेट द मार्केट्स राइट। यहाँ जरा सा कीमत बढ़ती है, उसी समय एक्सपोर्ट बैन कर देते हैं, स्टॉकिंग लिमिट लगा देते हैं, रेट लगा देते हैं। उससे देश की कृषि नहीं आगे बढ़ेगी। इट इज़ लिम्पिंग, वेकअप कॉल फॉर द गवर्नमेंट। इस समय किसान की हालत जो 3 साल 4 साल पहले थी, उससे 50% नीचे आ गया है। ग्रोथ रेट इज हाफ ऑफ व्हाट इट यूज्ड टू बी। अगर ये अभी भी नहीं जागे तो फिर किसान, उन्नति तो बहुत दूर और पॉवर्टी एलिमिनेशन तो बहुत दूर। वो कहीं आक्रोश में, जो सरदार पटेल ने किया था किसी ज़माने में किसानों को साथ लेके, तो हमें growth alone will not deliver growth for whom and what type of growth. That is equally important. We must remember that. Thank you.